Hey crafty friends, this is Mai here. So today what we are going to be doing, we are going to be assembling our Halloween frog paper craft. I'm going to be using my art glitter glue here for all of my gluing today. And I'm also going to be using my tweezers. You're definitely going to want to make sure that you have yours today. I'm super excited that I remembered to get mine for the video. And as you can see, I've got all of my pieces. They are lined up. They're stacked in the correct order. This one's going to be slightly tricky. And so I'm going to speed up the video and kind of slow it down a little bit at certain parts. Okay. So as we get started, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break off the craft here into sections. So the first section that I'm going to work with is this pumpkin part. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of hold this part between my fingers, and I am going to go ahead and start gluing. So I kind of did this one backwards. I started to glue here on the green side. I should have worked on the black. Just make sure that you don't go ahead up here and begin to glue the stem, because that part's not going to show up here on the black. That's usually why I work the other way, but I guess I got a little carried away. Okay, so as you can see, I've just got everything between my fingers here, and that's how I'm stacking it up. And I'm making sure that I've got it all in that right position. My fingers are kind of like my guideline, and that's what's helping me here. So this time I remembered, and I added the glue here to the back of the pumpkin face. And I'm just gonna do a little bit more. And then I'm going to do the same thing, holding it between my fingers and using my fingers there as the guide to line everything up there. And when you're gluing, you have to remember too that you've got about 5 seconds before the glue really dries, and then you're stuck. So I'm going to go ahead and glue the fingers here. Again, I probably should put some of this down because it might be making it a little difficult for you guys to see it with the video. And I'm just going to add the part of the hands here, and I'm going to do this part here. I think I'm going to have to pause it for a second because I want to add, I want to do a little bit of inking to his face to add a little bit more dimensions, and I forgot to get my brush. So I'm going to put this one down for just a second. I'm going to pause the video, and then I'm going to pick it right back up and grab my brush here. Okay, so I paused the video. I just wanted to go and grab my ink here and a pointed brush here for painting, because I'm going to add a little bit of circles here to his face just to add some character and a little bit more dimension to our little frog. So I'm going to be using the Mowed Lawn ink here, and then I've got this little brush. It's got a point to it. You're definitely going to want to make sure that it's a point, because we're just going to try and paint on some ovals as we go here, and that's what I'm going to use. All right, so let's get back to the gluing. Sorry about that. I guess I got a little carried away. All right, so the next part that we're going to work on is his hat, and I'm going to lift this up. I'm going to put this one off to the side, and then I'm going to work with the bigger pieces first. Let me put this one down. And then again, I'm just going to keep here gluing, going around the edges, and then holding it between my fingers. That's how I will line everything up, and I will know that I've got it in the right position. Now for this one here, I'm going to hold on to this with my tweezers. I'm going to add my glue right here along the edges. Just a little bit will go a long way. If you add a little bit more, that's okay. It won't be the end of the world. You just might have some glue seeping through. But if you're using the art glitter glue like I am, I think I flipped to this. Nope, that's the right way. If you're using the art glitter glue like I am, it's going to dry clear, and so you won't have anything to worry about. Okay, so I've got this part here between my fingers. I'm going to go ahead and just use my tweezers to get this one right in that spot, and then just pressing it down. All right, so now I can go ahead and add the glue here to the back. And then I can place this down right here on the hat, and that looks good. All right, so the next part I'm going to work on are the eyes here and the facial features. I'm going to use my push pin well, first I'm going to put these off here to the side. I'm going to add 2 little glue dots right there, and then a little bit of a smile right there. And then I'm going to use my push pin to grab the nostrils there. And same thing with the mouth. I'm just kind of putting it there. And you can get really creative. Like if you wanted to, you could make his mouth go down a little bit more, or you could just leave it regular. Oh, I think my glue might have dried. Well, we'll just leave mine there. It'll be fine. All right, and then I'm going to grab into the eyes here as well. And when you're doing the eyes, I'm going to use my tweezers again. You just want to make sure that you're getting the opening on the black part of the eye to line up with the opening on the green. So that's why I'm holding this one now, just so I get it in that right position. Same thing with this one here. And just adding a little bit of glue. And then I'm just going to line it up right there. And that looks great. Okay, so now I'm ready to just kind of go a little bit faster with gluing the rest of his body. And so what I'm going to do is, I'm pretty sure I'm just going to speed up the video here as I'm gluing this part, because it's all just going to be layered together. Okay, so we're kind of come to our last piece here, and all we're going to do is just kind of glue down the jack-o'-lantern. And I want you to realize that the stem here of the pumpkin, it is going to kind of come up, because you have to visualize that the pumpkin is going to be like in front of his face. And so the stem would be in front of his face and not kind of underneath. So you do kind of want to make sure that that's what's happening here when you go to glue down your pumpkin. All right, so this is the last step here for just the gluing. And I'm just using my fingers here to line everything up, just pressing everything down. And now we're gonna do our inking. Okay, and here's my paper towel. So I'm just gonna have that here. So like I said before, I'm using a pointed brush. You wanna make sure that it's pointed, because we're just gonna add a little bit of a kind of like an oval, just to kind of create some character and some dimension to our frog. And the oxide that I'm using is Mowed Lawn. So it's just kind of like a darker green. And I'm just pressing my brush here onto the ink pad to pick up a little bit of the green, so you can see it there. I've got it. And all I'm going to do is just kind of come in very lightly and add just a little bit of kind of like an oval, just 3 little like small ovals right there, just to kind of add some dimension. You could actually kind of go out more here onto the cheek if you want, but it's okay if it's a little bit lower. I'm going to pick up a little bit more of the ink, and this time I'm going to turn it upside down, because I'm using my right hand. And so again, just kind of adding a little bit of the ink there. It's just kind of like the spots that you might find on a frog. And so I think I might add a couple here to his feet, maybe just some really tiny ones. just to kind of add a little bit more character and a little bit of, just a little bit of dimension to our cardstock. It just makes it look a little bit more fun. So I decided I'm going to do it on all 3 of his toes here. And then once more, I'm going to flip this so I can do it on this side. And so if you want to, you could just kind of keep it with the odd numbers here. If you want to just do 1, that's okay. You could probably get away with 2, like, let's see. I'll do 2 here on this one. And then I'll do 3 on the next one. And so this just adds something more fun to our frog. And I think I'm actually going to have to do his hands. So I'm just going to kind of go a little bit right here on the curve. And I think I'm only going to do like 2 little spots right there. And then again, I'm going to flip it. Let's see, do I want to do it? I'm trying to decide if maybe I should do it on his finger. Maybe I'll add one on his finger right along here. I've got more of the brush there. And I'll come back again. I just kind of want to make sure that my brush stays pointed so I don't get too much of the bristles. And so I'm just going to do that one like that. And that looks pretty good. I'm going to go a little bit closer to the edge there. And there we go. So he just has a little bit of something to him. It just adds a little bit more of who he is. And I know I'm coming back more and just adding a little bit more up here, just because I felt like it was a little lonely. All right. I might touch this up a little bit more because I can get myself a little carried away. But okay, so that looks pretty good. He's just a little bit fun and has a little bit more character to him. So be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I hope you enjoy crafting your frog. Thanks for watching, you guys.